Hi, this is Rachelle at Scrapcraftastic, and I am back to work on part two of the December daily for 2024. We are doing a junk journal style insert that can be used as a standalone journal or added to a traveler's notebook style cover for a half letter. In this part of the series, we will be collecting pages and getting ready to stitch our pages to the cover. If you missed the first part, I'll put a link to that in the iCard up above and in the description box below. That is where we put together the cover for our December daily using one piece of 12 by 12 paper. If you have any questions regarding this series, let me know in the comments. Let's go ahead and get started. If you are doing a December daily and you want to do the whole month, then you need 8 sheets of something. So it doesn't really matter what that something is, but you need 8. And the reason is each piece of paper or each element, once folded in half, gives you 4 sides. 4 times 8 is 32. There's no way to do 31. You would need to do increments of 4 unless you use tip ends or flaps to count as pages. Basically, what you would need is at least 8 somethings, 8 sheets, 8 elements folded in half to give you space for each day of the month. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions about that, you can drop down in the comments and let me know your questions and I'll try to explain a little bit better. I've already gone through my Christmas stash and pulled some things. I have this box of Christmas cards that I've had for years. It came from the Dollar Tree, and I'm not really sure what possessed me to purchase this, but I've had it for a while. So I'm going to use some of the cards out of that box. Where'd I put them? So I pulled these because these were the ones that I liked the most. They're really poor quality as far as greeting cards, but I thought the graphics were cute and I really love the Santa belt graphics. So I'm going to try and incorporate that somehow, even though it is a horizontal format. Okay, so I pulled those cards out. I already showed this envelope and the die cuts, so we got that. Then, while I was looking, I found this insert that I never put together. I probably just used it on the strings. So I have extra dot grid paper that's already printed here and a piece of kind of raggedy cardstock, but this could actually be stitched into the main part of the journal and used for documenting December daily, and then I can just decorate my other pages. So I can use this. I pulled some scrapbook papers out of this paper pad. It's called Hand Painted Christmas. It's from Die Cuts with a View. The copyright says 2014. Okay, so I'm going to be using some of that. I'm also going to be using some open stock papers. The Christmas car with the tree on top, whether it's a truck, car, Volkswagen, whatever, is one of my favorite um, graphic elements for Christmas. So I'm going to incorporate this. So this is actually paper, not cardstock. I'm trying to use heavier papers in this because I know I'm going to embellish and embellish and embellish some more. So I don't want to use paper that is too thin. That's not going to hold up. So I pulled a couple of pieces of my coffee tea stained papers. This is a printable insert that I didn't use from 2023, but it says December. So I'm going to use that. And then this is just lines. I didn't want to put too much of the copy paper in here. These, let me set, I'm gonna have to set things aside. This was a card that I had in with my Christmas papers. So I'm going to try and use that and this red envelope somehow. These are some digitals that I have been working on to possibly make a Christmas junk journal kit that I haven't gotten around to doing. Um, so I'm going to attempt to use these to make embellishments in this journal of some sort. I did print these on 20-pound paper. However, I can back them on something to make them sturdier. Here we go with the cardinals. I love cardinals for Christmas and the red Christmas doors. So I'll probably make tags or journal cards from these. These won't be actual pages. Then this is another digital that I don't know how I'm going to use. I could probably go back and print it a different way and get a better use out of it, but I don't really want to. I'm trying to use things that I already have. So we may not use this. Maybe I can use this for like adding something for the week of Christmas, but I printed four four sheets of it, and I can do this as a tip-in, as pages. It just depends. The only thing is they're not back to back. So what I would probably have to do to make it work is glue them like this back to back so that you would have an actual weekly setup. But if I do that, I need to print one more because this would be one, two, three, four. I don't know. I could probably make this work if I wanted to. We'll see if I'll use that. This is that same calendar that I showed originally. This is just full size. I reduced the size of this one. So instead of just printing it full regular size, 100%, I printed this on the multiples option in Adobe to print two per page. And even though I didn't have two things, it just printed as if I did. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm thinking that this could be the center of my signature so that when you open the middle of the book, you have the whole month calendar in the middle. I don't know. We'll see. Then these are some digitals that I had in my Christmas storage box. I think these are from Hello Susan. I'm not sure, and there's no branding on the papers, but it was in with some Hello Susan stuff. I'm pretty sure this isn't Hello Susan. This is some Christmas digitals that I have in my stash that I printed on vellum. So I'm going to use that. These are pages. This was a freebie that I did years ago because I love the buffalo plaid. So I made some, and since we got kind of a buffalo plaid pattern for our cover, I'm going to incorporate this. All of these need to be trimmed, the margins cut off, and these two I'm going to glue together to make them more sturdy. And so that we don't have that just plain white, put them back to back. Okay. Another element that I have is this paper bag. Not sure how I'm going to incorporate it, if I'm going to do the side thing, but we'll figure out something. Then we just get to regular paper and cardstock. So this is 24-pound paper, black paper. I always feel like I got to incorporate something black in my journals. So I'm adding a piece of black paper. Some of these papers are a little beat up, but I'm using them anyway. This is a piece of craft paper. It's not cardstock, it's paper. So I'm going to add that. And I'm thinking with the papers, they can be used for writing. Although I don't anticipate doing very much writing in this journal. I'm more of a decorator. As far as my journaling, I rather decorate it than write in it. Okay. So you might see some writing, but not that much. Plus, not much happens for me to write down. So yeah, this is some cardstock that I had from years ago. And it's going to have to be folded this way, but I'm okay with that. So the text will be going down the side. I mean, I could fold it like this and then cut the height, but I prefer to have the whole page. And this is cardstock, not paper. Then we go here. I got some couple of pieces of red cardstock, and then this is red paper. So I don't know if Michael still has this, or if they discontinued it, but at one point within the last year, they started selling 24-pound paper in different colors, and I really like that. So this was a little beat up. I think it got rolled over by the chair. It's a little discolored because it's really old, but I'm going to cut that off and use this anyway. Let's get to it. Let me go ahead and cut this, start trimming up the other pieces, glue things together, and get these pages ready to go in this journal. Before I continue, I forgot to show some of the papers. So these are some of the papers that I took out of that paper pad that I showed at the beginning. I don't know if I'm going to use these for the days. We'll see, but it was in there, so I may use it. I'm going to use this as one of the pages, even though it has the white on the back. I'm going to use that. This is some more open stock paper that I have in my stash, and it's all Christmas. Ooh, look at that plaid. I don't have any plaid. And why is Thanksgiving? fall in here. Let's use that flag. I like that. Let's see what else I got. I got lots of these truck pages. Maybe we can use one of those. And if not, I can just fussy cut. I got so much paper. And I know I can't use it all, but I kind of want to. All right, so we'll trim these down and use these as well. Because these are cardstock, I'm going to score in the middle at 5.5 so that they can fold more evenly. And I can get a nice crisp fold. Still building our signature here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one more page is really all we need. Of course, I'm going to overdo it and probably do double that. So I'll probably end up with 16 versus 8. Um, let's get this in. I like that against that. May not use that one or that one or that one. I don't know. I may use those as embellishments. This isn't folded quite right. Okay, so where can we put him? I think he can go here or here. I think he goes best there. And then we're going to move him up a little bit. Okay. Now we got an envelope and another card. I think I want to start going here. Not sure how I'm going to use the envelope either. We got these pages. Do I want to make just an external journal to go in the pocket that can be used for notes? That's what I'm going to do with this. So I may do something with the cover, but we'll make an external little journal that can be used just for decorating notes, whatever the case may be. I think that works. Then this envelope, I'm gonna stick it. Is it gonna fit in that pocket? No, it is not. And I may have to trim this journal down too. This can be a tip in or a flip. So I'm gonna set that aside. Same here. We may have to use this in a different project. So we're gonna hold on to that. We're getting there. All right. Definitely want to use the countdown. It's gonna have to go on a page, but I can go ahead and trim it down some. So I know I'm going to have to trim this down more depending on where and how I use it, and I'll probably trim off my branding. Now, the more pages you put in here, the more gator mouth, which is open like this is going to get. And I'll probably regret doing this later, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want to use the papers. Mm, gotta use the plaid. And I definitely want a candy cane. So let's put this at 8.5 in height. I'm gonna go just a little hair shorter. So I'm going to use this as a guide to fold. I'm going to fold it slightly narrower. And then any excess I will use as a tuck spot. So there we go. Then I'm going to fold this over to act as a pocket or a tuck spot inside. So we waste as little as possible. And I could flip it this way. Right. So yeah, I used a misprint to print that on. I told you I don't throw them away. I reuse that paper. And that's exactly what I did there. Um, let's see, I could probably get away with putting that on there like so. Set this aside because that's going to be on a page, not a page. I'm not sure about that paper now. But I definitely want to use some scrapbook paper in here. Let's make this a pocket. I almost cut that. But because it's really non-directional, we can get away with making this a pocket. I wonder if I could like fold that down and make it a whole pocket. Let's do that. Do something a little bit different. So I'm gonna fold that in, make those lines match up. So what I'm going to do is to reinforce the sides. But if I leave this open as a pocket, do I need to reinforce these sides? Let's see what happens. Or I could turn this into an envelope. See, so many options, so many different things I can do with this. Should we turn it into an envelope like so? Or should we leave it as a pocket like so? Then you can tuck things in the pocket here. I think that would be better than the envelope because then with the envelope, you got to open it up. You're going to have white space there. It's going to have limited space of what you can tuck, and then I'd have to cut the middle, all that. So, yeah, let's leave it as a pocket. Now, how we're going to work this part? Do I want to make that a pocket too? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. As long as this fits in here, I think we are good. All right. Do, do. Let's see, how much am I going to have to cut off? So I'm gonna have to cut quite a bit off. Oh, I'm missing a lot of pages. Hold on. Yep, missing some pages. So these two are gonna go in here together. I need to trim all of this really. And I think I'm gonna leave all of this out, except for this and maybe this. I'm gonna glue these together before I trim them. And I think I'm just gonna trim these with the scissors. It'll be easier. Think I'm gonna save this to use with ephemera since it's so heavy. Okay, so I'm not gonna use this as a page. I'll use it on the page to make a tuck spot for a pocket. I think that would be better because I think we're getting too many pages. So we got one. So that's 16. I think that's more than enough plus the cover. It's gonna be really chunky, and as you can see, that spine is already curving around the pages, which is the effect that I wanted. And speaking of the spine, before we trim down the page creep on these, then I think I'm going to do one page at a time so that I don't cut off something that I don't need to cut. I'm thinking I can use one of these ribbons to reinforce the spine. And I'm thinking this one would be the best option. It's got wire in it, but I can take the wire out and use that to reinforce. So let's cut a piece off. Take the wires out. So this, I wonder if I put it on the outside, would that be better? And let it wrap around to the inside. Do you want to do that? Because usually my thing is I like to have like the little frayed edges hanging out on either end. I'm not going to be able to do that here. So, and also this finished edge looks like it might be an issue. So what do we want to do? Do we want to cut it off? This is one small piece of ribbon, so if this doesn't work out, I can do something else. Let's try it. Just cut off that extra little bit of bulk. I guess I could have just cut it with the wire in it. So if you don't have fabric or ribbon that you can use, even though they do sell ribbon at the Dollar Tree, it's usually in the garden area, I think, with the flowers and stuff. But if you don't have that, you can use old clothing. I've used uh, fabric from one of my daughter's little dresses that I wouldn't donate, but I could use parts of it. I've used that to make a journal cover in the past. So, and I know a lot of people get items from like Goodwill, thrift stores that they repurpose and upcycle. Okay, how do I want to do this? I need to put glue. This is where I do not like to use the Fabri-Tac because it's too seeps too much. So let's use my favorite glue stick. We'll get down in there better in a moment. Let's make sure we're pretty centered. Yeah, see that seeps too. So yeah, I think I'll stick with the glue stick. It's kind of trial and error with the glue and what will work, what works in your climate. And maybe I can just put it on the trim. Even though this is showing through, I just really want to make sure that I get this tacked down really well so that it doesn't keep unraveling. Let's see, put this clear bag in there so that it gives the ribbon time to dry, the glue time to dry, and not um, stick to the pocket. And that's just some packaging. All right, so while that's drying, I am going to go ahead and start trimming down the page creep. Page creep is where, because of the width of the paper, as the papers get closer to the inside, they stick out a little bit more, even though they're all basically the same size. So I think this is where I want to start trimming page creep. And I'm going to do these one by one. You can just take a craft knife and just line up your ruler and cut it, but I think I'll do better doing one by one because I don't want to accidentally cut a pocket or something, or a flip or a flap. So if I do these one by one, then I can check as I go to make sure that everything is everything. So this one doesn't need it. And I'll probably end up refolding the stripe. It's going to be refolded on the ends or trimmed. I'm not sure yet. So that it doesn't stick out. So I'm thinking I need to cut off about a quarter of an inch here, maybe a little bit more. Let's test it in the cover. Hopefully I'm going to have to touch up some spaces. It's not quite dry. All right, so we got a little dilemma here. Let's put this out of the way. My calendar is not going to fit unless I chop off the sides. Okay. So I guess I don't have to cut off too much, but it's gonna be all the way to the edge. Also, I didn't like that that's gonna be right in the middle of the binding. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or if you do Monday, whatever, Thursday, will be right in the middle of the spine. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe I can do it like this on a front page and do something different for the center of the signature. What else do I have going on here? That could be the center. Let's make that the center, then I can spruce it up. Take that and put that there. Okay. And then I can put this right here or there. Okay. So we're not going to use that in the center. Let's get scraps out of the way. And then this looks better here. Maybe I can put some lace on the edge as well. Let's do some more touch up here. When I folded it, I could see it was lifting. So we got our signature together for the most part. It's down one page. So we're looking at 15 probably. We're going to count this as 15. Let's fold this in some more. This can tuck in there. This can tuck in there. I'm going to give this an angle miter. So I'm just going to glue it right there on the end here, just a little bit. So that's going to tuck in there like that. And this is going to tuck in here. This is awkward. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but I didn't think of it until now. And I want to keep all pockets open if possible. I think that's going to work. So we don't have anything really hanging out. All right, let's get prepared to stitch these in. I know that took forever, so I want to get it right. So use your papers. I didn't really use any, old planner stuff. Well, I kind of did, and we'll use some old planner stuff as we go. I really wanted to incorporate planner goodies or things, that you might have in your stash that you haven't used, but this is just the beginning, so it can still happen. So that's it for putting together a signature. You can use a variety of different papers, envelopes, paper bags, whatever you choose, greeting cards. That's just the beginning. You can use whatever you choose. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and you may be interested in this other video. Don't forget to come back for part 3 where we will stitch the signature to the cover using the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Thanks for watching and I'll talk to you later. Bye.